Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. It's been a while since we came out with a video because everything has been going according to expectation. However, today makes a little bit of a different case. So I figure we will come on and make a short video until that thesis is broken. We will be mainly focused on looking out for what tickers are going to be the amazing plays, the golden setups that are coming up. So from here, what I mean by the thesis may have been broken. Remember, there's couple scenarios that were discussed before. And here was the original theory that we were looking at, the leg, the Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning September, October is going to be 2 months of consolidation / sideways action. For those of you that remember the video from before, sideways action doesn't mean that there's not going to be decent bounce. So two circles, same as the last consolidation. That's what we're looking at. This was forecasted back from September 29th. Now, the next one that we were looking at is a couple possible scenarios, bull thesis and bear thesis. Remember, always have both theses ready if you're playing anything. So bull thesis was that we're going to be holding this blue line, this blue trend line, all the way back from pandemic. I believe this was, let me take a look. What's this from? I can never remember. Okay, no, so there's not back from pandemic only, but it's all the way back from 2019 up until pandemic crash. So we did see a hold over there. So this was a very key trend line because we can see rejection, another rejection here, and then we finally broke over, became support, double support here. Didn't really touch here, but now we are revisiting that trend line as a minor support again. So with that being said, we did see a bounce exactly from there, and that's when we forecasted the bull and bear thesis. From the looks of it right now, because the bounce was faster, so we did get over that key zone a little bit, and because of that, the GP is a little bit higher now, and we are seeing a hold of that GP. So technically, this bull thesis is working out. It's just a little bit, it's not exactly on point, but overall, the chart is looking. So if you look at this, bounce up, coming back down to roughly the GP before next leg up. So what we're seeing here now is bounce up. The bounce was strong. It got to that way past that key zone actually, and then now we're at the GP and we're seeing a hold of that GP. So there is a chance. Well, let's put it this way. This is the message that I shared in our Slack trading community yesterday and today, and this is part of the benefit for being in our Slack trading community. You get the message every morning. You get what I'm expecting every morning before the market opens, and you can have an idea of what to look out for. So this was yesterday's. No, I actually shared it in the main chat. So this was yesterday's. SPX bounced from GP overnight, and with the magnitude of a bounce, this now slightly decreased the chance of retracement to 42.20 that we were originally expecting at the 1-to-1 extension target as well, right here. 1-to-1 extension target as well as the overall GP and the bottom of the key zone. So triple confluence area. If we do get there, that would be a very, very nice bull entry area. That's not saying that we are not going to get there now because of the bounce from GP, but I am expecting a lesser chance now, lesser likely. So give me 1 second here. Oh yeah, so seems Microsoft Edge, every single time I restart my computer, it does not memorize the sites, the credentials, the logins. If anyone knows how to fix that, please do let me know. That would be very helpful. Every morning I'm spending like 5-10 extra minutes that's unnecessary to log in and stuff. Anyway, so from here what we're looking at is let's see, this would actually still make sense. So there is still possibility that we are going to see like that before a leg up. So let's see over here, down, reversal kind of thing. So that's a possible scenario for this is now probably the bear thesis that I'm looking at, you know, coming back down. We're gonna have to see going into the end of this week. Reminder, it is OPEX week's option expiry, monthly option expiry week, so the price could very well be pinned. I did check the max paying today on SPX, and I believe it was 43.50. 43.50, yeah, 43.50. So it could be pinned around that area, going from here, you know, tomorrow going to the end of the week. So what we're looking at, bear thesis. As for bull thesis, from here we're gonna have to bounce. Yeah, this is likely, and then back test the upper trend line before a next leg move up. So this will be the how come it doesn't? So those are the couple scenarios that we're looking at. The bull thesis is going to be like this. Bear thesis, we are still going to go down to that 42.20 area. And based on the chart, the way it's behaving right now, we're going to need to see some bearish action right away going into end of the week, beginning of next week. Because most ideal area that we want to see touch would be this 1-to-1 plus lower part of the key zone plus GP plus lower trend line. Which, why does it look off? Oh no, the lower trend line got moved. Okay, that's why it's a little bit off, eh? There you go, should be around there. Lower trend line, so that gives us a little bit more time then, a couple more days. All right, so this is what I'll be looking at, you know. Let's see, so if we were to bounce from here, big drop, there is still a chance. Yeah, however, remember, the chances are slightly less now of us visiting 42.20. Regardless, if you want to be conservative, one of the things that you could do is just wait for the break of this upper trend line. Now remember, there is another potential upper trend line that's up here. If you draw from the wick to the wick instead of to the most recent wick, meaning we could still see, even if we were to break from here, we could see a rejection from there. All right, so that's the overall thought that I'm thinking for the market. Until then, the thesis, I'm not playing bear. You know, for those of you that are wondering, I'm not, well, probably scalping bear every here and there, just to make some what we call lunch money, or you know, payday kind of thing. A little bit of that here and there, but I'm not playing bear overall. So don't really have a bias towards bear right now, but based on the chart, what I'm still thinking is still going to be bear thesis is more likely. Well, in comparison for the two theses right now, I would say the bear thesis is more likely, but we're going to need to see what happens tomorrow. If we do go up to this trend line again, want to see what happens right there. If we're to reject, so there's a chance, you know, let's see, tomorrow going to Friday. Yeah, the chart actually, so the bull thesis actually lines up perfectly. So there is a chance that we go up right here before another leg down. So that means what could happen, let's actually draw a second possible bear thesis scenario. From here, we go up to here before coming back down. Basically a repeat. So that would be a bear thesis number 2. You know, we go up, but there's going to be a substantial drop then if that is the case. Regardless, this is what I'm looking at for the overall market. And I do apologize for a lack of video lately. It has really helped in the sense of not really watching the market as closely, and thus helping with the patience side while the market is bearish. Now when we look at the monthly chart, I'm not gonna discuss individual tickers today. Actually, there's a few that I have to. Anyway, so when we look at the monthly chart, let's clean this up. When we look at the monthly chart, remember what we were comparing to before. Okay, yeah, so this is pandemic crash, and then this was the potential leg 2. Well, I think is weekly chart we're looking at. Yeah, that's more like it. So this is the leg 2. You can see lots of sideways action, about 8 weeks of sideways action. So far, we have not seen that yet. So what could happen from here is if you have zoomed in, you can see that it could potentially be the bounce that's coming before another leg down, making that 2 months consolidation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are in month and a half right now. So this could be dragged out. It is leg 4, so we could be seeing a dragged out 2.5, 3 months kind of sideways consolidation. But I do see a potential for a bounce coming here, very similar to here, before another leg down. On the monthly chart is a little bit different because we have not touched that monthly 8 yet. I do believe overall there will be a little bit more sideways / bearish action trading. Ultimately, based on this chart, I do think that 42.20 will be hit sooner or later. Might take a little bit longer than anticipated. You know, we might see a bounce over here before coming back down, kind of thing. But we will know as the chart develops. This is the forecast right now. I am looking at this particular one. Let's remove the other ones. This particular one to be a little bit more likely as of right now. Now let's get into some tickers that are requested that I did not get to cover over the last weekend. I do apologize for that. Let's take a look. Oil, NASDAQ. Let's just gonna get over all of them. Oil. How's oil been doing? Woo, nice. New daily higher high. Okay, so rejected from key zone, bounced from trend line / key zone, held the support. Wow, was that to the penny? 6 cents off. Very key support that I had marked. Rejections, multiple rejections, another rejection here, somewhat support, and then very key support here. So we did see almost a back test on the 61.63 on oil. It is in the daily higher high, and I do not like this line. It is confusing me. Let's see. Oh, actually, something. Yeah, I gotta make sure I keep the thesis for anyone who has questions. Okay, 0.3 hold, daily bull flag, confirmation, continuation. There's no reason for selling right now if you're in oil. That daily 8 is very key to hold right now. Look at that. So aside from the bull flag, after that we have not lost the daily 8. You could argue that we slightly lost it over here on the September 20th. Well, that's already been almost a month. So oil is in a daily uptrend. If you look, zoom out to weekly, I believe it's in an uptrend too. Yep, very clear uptrend. Higher, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Ooh, almost lost it here. Higher low, and now we are seeing a very nice move again. There is a weekly bear divergence right now, so you're gonna need to see continuation, or there is a chance of harsh rejection. Oh, we finally broke over. Oh no, that was a while ago. Long-term wedge. Finally broke over. Immediate back test. Moved over. This was not a nice move. Pullback in a sense. We did move quite a bit from the bottom, and that's why. So with oil, as long as that daily 8 holds, I don't, short-term wise, as long as that daily 8 holds, I don't see any reason for selling. There's a bull flag that's select confirmed, and then there's a bull flag again. There is a daily bear divergence right now as well. If we were to reject from here, that is a little bit of a caution. Let's see what else. So money line support, we lost it. We're now over it again. So ultimately, there's a long-term wedge. Bear break, no follow through. That is amazing to see. Short term, daily 8. A little bit longer term, use that money line. We've seen 1, 2, 3 supports. slight support here, we won't count that. Another rejection here, another support here. So yeah, that money line is called money line for a reason, right? Next is NASDAQ. Not going to cover that just because, you know, we're going to be looking at SPX overall. But however, what I am going to cover for you is QQQ over IWM. This will give a clearer picture of what's going on with NASDAQ versus other indexes, specifically RUS. So with QQQ, IWM, what we're looking at is NASDAQ versus RUS. And we did see a rejection, a loss of that trend line. Very key to keep. We wanted to see a break over GP, but that did not happen, and thus that's why there's weakness in majority of the techs, Amazon, Apple, can't remember Google, but Netflix I believe is bullish. But the bigger techs, you know, they are seeing bearish action. Now this is not really good because right now we're seeing a daily bear flag formation on QQQ over the IWM. Regardless of going forward, our main focus should be going on to RUS, remaining on RUS. It has been on RUS for some time. But in my personal point of view, I do think RUS is going to have a lot of room to move when it does have a bull break over this long-term wedge. It could, remember, drag all the way out to, what was it, 2023, 2025 kind of thing? Mid-2022 on this wedge. So there's no rush on playing RUS, and the room's getting smaller and smaller as it moves. But it is 10 months of sideways action. So small caps is going to be going forward, our focus going forward. Right, next is, nope, not that one. LMND. Hey, I haven't seen you request that before, Kwanzaa. LMND. Wow, it's been a long time since we looked at this chart. All right, so this is a good example of how you should practice, or I'm not going to tell you what to do, but what I used to do personally when I first started charting, and it really helped. When you see a chart like this, you're not really making sense of you're not. I don't really understand what I was drawing before because the way back is not relevant anymore. So the easiest thing to do is click. Oh, you guys can't see it. Oh, you guys still can't see it. Oh, yeah, you can. Right here. There's trash can button. You guys see it? Here's my mouse. Trash can button. Just click that. It deletes everything for you. And you just start from scratch. Easiest way to practice. Best way to practice, let's say that. And the way I draw may be different from people. You know, you probably see some people, they just use the crosshair to measure. And you could do that too, and you can just say right here, and then you would just draw it to probably somewhere around here kind of thing. You could do that, but then again, this circles back to, for me personally, I like being exactly on point, and it has really helped in some of the trades, determining the tops and the bottoms. So I'm going to stick to that. You know, find what works for you. There's no exact right or wrong. So the key zone there, multiple rejections, multiple supports. Key zone here, same thing, multiple rejection support, including some sideways action as well. In between, there's some resistance here, very notable at 99.70 rejection. Immediate support, choppiness around it, rejection again, rejection again. Yeah, so it's not as notable versus a key zone, but it is very notable. And same with this $80.35. You can see no rejection here, but support, 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 support again, short term, rejection, short term, and then support again, choppy. You could call this support, rejection again. So that 80.35, very key as well. And looks like there is a trend line going from the top as well. And I think there's a short-term trend line in here too. So this, we're gonna use a long-term trend line. I wonder what this looks like. I think we probably lost it. Oh, that is not good. We lost it, back test, reject. Daily trend is reversing on increasing bull volume, so that looks good. Yeah, let's use that. Let's use this. We'll call this the money line. Yeah, this is probably the money line. Okay. So bounce, bounce, bounce. 3 supports. Can probably draw this a little bit higher. Yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't really make sense from back here, but let's see. Not a very clear lower trend line. Couple ways you can draw, you know, from 44.11 or 46.60. I like this one a little bit more, just so that it doesn't invalidate back here. So there is 1, 2, 3 bounces from it before breaking down and now increasing bull volume. What I'm seeing is high chance of revisiting that money line, but then it's going to become a resistance, especially this triple confluence area, this short-term trend line, this long-term trend line, this money line that was support before, now potential resistance. So what I'm looking at is likely rejection, make a higher low if we were to break bull. I don't know too much about this company. If you do, let me know, please. Ming. So this is what we're looking at for bull thesis. So yeah, I don't like that. Okay. Potential. Okay, but you're gonna need to see volume. Ultimately, right now the bear volume is still outweighing the bull volume. Right. Next. Oh, I forgot to mention. One other thing is the change we made to our videos going forward. Last week's video that I released, it took forever to upload and process. So what we're going back to 1080. We're going back to 1080 30. Okay, 1080 pixels, 30 frames per second. Make it a little bit easier uploading wise, processing wise. And if you guys like the 1440 while it lasted, please do let me know, so I will find a happy medium that works out for everyone, or try to at least. Okay, next is Nike plug. I like your picks. Nike. Ooh, yeah. So we're looking at this. I was looking at it at the GP, but I did not like how it lost that key zone I was looking at. Slightly lost the key zone. It did hold the GP, and now we're seeing an amazing bounce so far. It has been 8.52%. Is there a dividend on this? 0.72, so barely anything. On this bounce, what we're looking at, so there is relative strength in a sense, because it's moving bullish while the market is bearish, and we already passed that 0.382, so that looks great. Overall, we didn't even fill the gap yet, so ultimately I would consider this a bear break of this gap up support, no follow through. So that is a sign of strong chart to me. Increasing bull volume, low bear volume. This looks good. I would anticipate at the very minimal a bounce to the GP. So let's change this to the 0.5 first. There's not a whole lot of price action, and there's not a whole lot of support resistance up here. So it will be very easy for the chart to move through. I do see something here. Somewhere around there. A little bit lower. Let's do, where is it? There we go. A little bit lower. So rejection, stall, became support, and then support again, and then rejection on this mini bounce here. So that 160 is a very key, I guess, is a psychological price action, psychological resistance as well. There's a little bit of something here, 166.44. So let's mark that. Not exactly on point. 166.36. Somewhere around there. 166 area. So we did see rejection here. Somewhat support again, and then back test rejection. So that 166.36 is very notable as well. Is there anything around 170? 170. 175. No, just kidding. So 170, there's no notable reaction. So just because it's a psychological support resistance does not mean they're going to find a very notable support resistance around there. But the two I am able to see is 160.11 and 166.36, which doesn't really line up with the fib. So that 160 area is going to be around the 0.5. I would anticipate on this bounce we should see a reaction around there. We do see a resistance, a strong support resistance there, the strongest at least, you know, from up here. So the anticipation on this would be, you know, going up there, making a daily. We are lacking a daily higher low. So daily higher low on this gap up low before a next leg up kind of thing. This would be my expectation, but we're gonna have to see what the market does. Of course, if the market decides to go back to 42.20, I think everything is gonna be tanking for a little bit more before it recovers. And the last one, what was it? It was plug. Woo! Plug power. Been a long time since we looked at this too. So we had all these fibs drew out, anticipating where the bounce is gonna go to, and looks like, oh, this inverse head and shoulders. Okay, yeah, it played out. It made new highs. So delete those. This one is gone as well. What a gap up and run. Now, based on even just today's volume and movement price action alone, I would think it's news. If it's not news, there is something underlying. But the way that the chart has held up, even if it's news, it tells me higher prices to come. Okay. Ultimately, on the short term, I would anticipate that what we're going to be looking at is, even if we bounce to that, is this even valid anymore? I don't like this trend line anymore. Let's redraw this. Somewhere around here looks like it works a lot better, but why is there no touches? This chart does not seem to work well with trend lines, eh? Supports. It just chops around. Oh wait, did I draw it wrong? Somewhat around there. Okay, that could be. Nope, don't like it. Okay, so the clearest thing that I can see is somewhere around here. Ooh, is that a wedge bull break? That is a wedge bull break. Gap up and run wedge bull break. Should see continuation tomorrow. A huge red flag if you do not see continuation tomorrow. Amazing move. We should see amazing move coming up. What I'm seeing here is we should move. Ideally, you want to see a close over 36. Ideally, somewhere around this top part of the key zone before rejection, coming back down to back test this up trend line of the wedge. I like this. It's been a long time since we looked at this chart, but the chart is looking amazing for a next leg up. So tomorrow I'm gonna set an alert just so that I remember to look at it and set it around there. Now let's do a little bit lower, right around there. Now the reason why we put it right there, it's you can see slight support here, support again, rejection and rejection. So that 30, whatever I marked it as, 34.50, very key area to pass and close over. And then the other alert would be under today's low, because if we do lose that, we should see a gap fill. Is not too far away, but overall plug actually looks pretty good. Thank you for bringing the tickers up, Kwanzaa. It really helps refresh new drawings. I love looking at new tickers. Practice drawings. All right, so today's video ended up being a lot longer than expected, and spend a lot more time on each individual ticker, and I'm more than happy to, especially if it's requests coming from our Slack trading chat group. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the content. If you know anyone that will benefit from our videos, please do share, subscribe, like. Oh, and a quick reminder, 250 subs. Let's get it. Let's get to 250 subs. I'm very looking forward to the giveaway that's going to be happening. Again, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.